Hello and welcome to the daily number workout. Today we're working on the number 48. So let's start off with the word form. Writing 48. This would be F-O-R-T-Y, 40, H-E-I-G-H-T. And because the one place value is an 8, it is an even number. So let's move on to our factors. So hopefully you wrote the word factors down. We want to get familiar with our words as well. So we're always writing all these words down as well. So let's start off with 1 times 48 equals 48. We know that. 2 goes in because it is an even number. 2 times 24 equals 48. And we can look back at our numbers like 46. If we look back at 46, 2 times 23 equaled 46. So then 2 more would be 40, 24, 48. Kind of look at the patterns there. Does 3 go in? It sure does. 3 goes in 16 times. 16 times. Does 4 go in? Absolutely. 4 goes in 12 times. Does 5 go in? No, because it doesn't end with a 0 or a 5. It has to have a 0 or a 5 in the ones place. Does 6 go in? Absolutely. 6 times 8 goes in. 7 doesn't go in, so we're done. Whoa, we've got 10 factors. 5 factor pairs. 1 times 48, 2 times 24, 3 times 16, 4 times 12, and 2 times 8. All right, let's get started with our multiples, counting by 48s. So we know the first number is 48. So you should have your scrap paper handy, or you already wrote down all of this and you're just checking your work. So 48 times 2. And this is great practice with your basic facts. Very important to know your facts. 2 times 8 is 16. Drop the 6, carry the 1. 2 times 4 is 8 plus 1 is 9. So we have 96. Let's do 3 of them. 3 times 8 is 24. Drop the 4, carry the 2. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 2 more is 14. We have 144. And I think I've talked about this. This is gross. If we are shipping out products, so let's say we make ties, and a company orders a gross of that tie, that means they want 144 in the case. Or maybe our cases just hold 144, so they have to buy 144 to sell in their stores. All right, let's do 48 times 4. 4 times 8 is 32. Drop the 2, carry the 3. 4 times 4 is 16, plus 3 is 19, so we have 192 here. Let's do 5 48s. 5 times 8 is 40. Drop the 0, carry the 4. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 4 is 24. So we have 240. Let's do 48 times 6. So 6 48s. 6 times 8 is 48. Drop the 8, carry the 4. We knew that from up here. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 4 is 28. So we have 288. Then let's do 7 times 48. 7 times 8 is 56. Drop the 6, carry the 5. 7 times 4 is 28, plus 5 is 33. So we have 336. All right, we're going to do 8 48s. 8 times 8 is 64. Drop the 4, carry the 6. 8 times 4 is 32, plus 6 is 38. So we have 384. Let's do 9. Oops. 9 times 48. 9 times 8 is 72. Drop the 2, carry the 7. 9 times 4 is 36, plus 7 would be 43. So we have 432 here. And then, of course, 10 times any number is that number with a 0 in the one place value, 480. So boom, there's our first 10 multiples of 48. So that's good practice with our math, our factors. And let's go on to fractions. So we have fractions, decimals, percents, and ratio. All right. I'm spreading this out because we're going to do some equivalent fractions, as there's plenty of factors there that we should be able to find one to divide 100 by as well as 48 by. So our fraction today is 48 hundredths equals, and we're going to come up with another fraction. So draw your line there. So we're going to look up at the top, and I'm going to cover this up for a second just so you can see. So we're looking for a factor that the greatest common factor that is. So we want the biggest one. So 48 doesn't go into 100. 24 does not go into 100. 16 does not. 12 does not. 8 does not. 6 does not. 4? Well, it does. So that's the one we're going to use, the greatest common factor. So divide by 4. The numerator, divide by 4, the denominator. We always do the same for both. And so when we divide 4 into 48, we get 12 according to this. 4 goes in 12 times. And then 25, 4 quarters go into $1. So that helps us there. So 48 hundredths is exactly the same as 12 25ths. And you'll learn more about that during your fraction unit. We're just giving you some taste of what's to come. This is 0 and 48 hundredths here. And the percent, I'm going to move those over, is 48%. And that would look like 48 colon 100 or 48 to 100. All right. And if I was writing this as money, it would be $0.48. Would look like that. So let's write this out in words. 48 hundredths and let's go here with 0 and 48 hundredths. And we're going to drop this one down, $0 and 48 cents. Dollars and cents. All right. Let me get rid of some of these cards so they don't fall off my table. And let's move on to area and perimeter. So getting crazy here. Now we're going to really start rocking. We've got so many factor pairs. I will suggest that we're just going to do a few of the drawings, and then we'll do all of the actual formulas. So area, we're going to take it across 48 by 1, and then we're going to draw it tall, 1 by 48. So let's go ahead and get into it. Area equals 48 times 1, which equals 48 square units. The perimeter would be 48 plus 1 plus 48 plus the 1. Well, we know 2 48s is 96 from the top of our page. So 96, 97, 98. So we have 98 units length around ours. And then the other way to write it would be a 1 by 48. And the perimeter would be 1 plus 48 plus 1 plus 48 equals 98. All right, let's go to the next one. And we're going to draw 2 by 24. So this would look like this. We're just going to be different here. We're just drawing a rectangle, and we're going to say this is 24 and this is 2, this is 2, and this is 24. Doesn't have to be perfect, right? So we have 24 times 2, and we have 2 times 24. Both of these equal 48 square units, and the perimeter would be 24 plus 2 plus 24 plus 2 equals, well, 2 24s we know is 48. 2 more is 50, 2 more is 52. So we go from 98 to 52 units. It's amazing how that happens. Oops, this one's supposed to be 2 plus 24 plus 2 plus 24. And it's the same, just in a different order. All right, we're going to do 3 by 16. So again, we're just going to draw our little cubes here and our rectangles and pretend they are, oops, this is 16 and this is 3, 16. So area would be 16 times 3, or 3 by 16. And this would be 16 plus 3 plus 16 plus 3 equals, and let's add them up. 16 plus 16 is 32, plus 6 is 38. All right, our next category would be 4 by 12. So we're going to do 12 by 4 here and 4 by 12 there. So 12 by 4, 4 by 12. Just representing our work. So we have 12 by 4 and 4 by 12. Both of these equal 48 square units. I'm just putting those little marks there that mean go up here. They're all the same square units. We're going to do perimeter. So we start with the 12 plus 4 plus 12 plus 4 equals, well, 2 12s is 24, and 2 4s are 8. So 24 plus 8 is 32 units. And we do this one, which would be a 4 plus 12 plus 4 plus 12, which is the same numbers, different order, same length. All right, let's go on to the last one, 6 by 8. And I'm going to take this off just in case. 6 by 8. So we're going to do, again, we're going to do 8 by 6 and 6 by 8. See how easy it is to draw those rectangles and just mark them. All right, so we have area of 8 times 6, and then we have an area of 6 times 8. Again, 48 square units. This perimeter would be an 8 plus 6 plus 8 plus 6. So 2 8s is 16, 2 6s is 12. So 16 plus 12 is 28. This would just be changing the order up. Woo, and we're done with area and perimeter. Wow, look at all that. It's because of all the factor pairs. Now volume, move your paper up. If you don't have some, write them down. So we're just going to draw the first few. So we'll draw the first couple of them. So here's a 48 by 1 deep by 1 tall, pretending. So that volume would be 48 times 1 equals 48 cubic units. All right. And then we'll change it up and we'll do a 1 by 1 by 48. I got the room there, so I'll do it 1 48. 1 by 1 by 48 equals 48 cubic units. All right, and then we'll do this one. So 1 by 48 by 1. 1 by 48 by 1. So it's 1 width, 48 deep, 1 tall. Looking good. Okay, our next family is the 2 2 by 24. So we're just going to write this one out. 2 times 24 times 1 equals 48 cubic units. And we can write that one again as 2 by 1 by 24 equals 48 cubic units. And then we can write it again, 24 by 2 by 1 equals 48 cubic units. And we can write that one again, 24 times and switch these up. 1 by 2 equals 48 cubic units. So we're just playing with the numbers, seeing how many ways we can write the same thing. All of these equal the same. So we did 2 at the first, we did 24 at the first. Now we're going to do 1 at the first. 1 width by 24 depth by 2 tall equals 48 cubic units. And then we're going to do 1 width by 2 deep by 24 tall. All right, that's that family. Now we're going to go to 4s. So 4 times, what was it, 20? Let's see, we did 2 times 24. Now we're going to do 4 times 12. I should have known that one. See, I'm just going to look at the top of my paper to find out what I'm doing. 12 times 4 times 1 equals 48 cubic units. Then we have 12 times 1 times 4 equals 48 cubic units. So this would be a 12 wide by 1 deep by 4 tall. All right, we're going to change that up to 4 by 12 by 1. So 12 wide, I'm sorry, 4 wide, 12 deep, 1 tall. Then we have a 4 wide by 1 deep by 12 tall. And then we have a 1 wide by 12 deep by 4 tall. Then we have a 1 wide by 4 deep by 12 tall. Jeez, and there's that family. All right, last but not least, we go on to 6 times 8. So we have a 6 by 8 by 1, which equals 48 cubic units. Then we're going to have a 6 by 1 by 8 equals 48 cubic units. And we have an 8 by 6 by 1 equals 48 cubic units. And we have an 8 by 1 by 6 equals 48 cubic units. And then we have a 1 wide by 8 deep by 6 tall equals 48 cubic units. And then we have a 1 wide by 6 deep by 8 tall equals 48 cubic units. All right, there we have it. Wow, look at all of that, all that work. When I was teaching 5th grade, we'd count up how many ways we were able to manipulate the number 48 to do all this work. So I hope you were able to check all those off, that you had all those, and I will talk to you soon. Have a great day.